Welcome back. We need a different introduction.
Yeah. Welcome back just ain't hitting
It's
it
just
anymore.
boring. Every time I go to edit a new episode and I hear that, I'm like, come on, guys. No one's going to want to listen to this episode.
Anyone want to give us some
Yeah.
intros?
We clearly need help here. If anyone's great in this avenue, this department, help.
Because it ain't us. It ain't us. But anyways, how are you today, Erin?
Oh, just fantastic. It's a Monday.
I'm jittery.
Yeah.
AF.
Kayla had fat burner this morning for the first time, and I had pre-workout this morning for the first time in a very long time.
And it's funny because we didn't tell each other that's what we were doing.
No.
We both just did it. And then I rock up to your house and you're like, I'm so jittery. And I'm like, I'm so jittery too.
This is either a great combination or a
Not
really
great combination.
bad combination.
Anyway, I literally have the shakes.
Well, that's where we're at right now. So that may come across in this episode. Just a forewarning.
There's a crack in my voice, that's why.
All right, so just jumping straight in, this episode we have decided to dedicate to the one and only Threads app.
We're getting on the trend. Getting in nice and early.
This launched last week.
Yep.
Instagram has decided to throw another spanner in the works, this time with an entirely new platform called Threads. And it's basically, do we want to say it's a copy and paste of Twitter?
It is, but it isn't.
It's heavily inspired by Twitter. And even Adam Mosseri, I don't know how you pronounce his surname, Mosseri, he is the head of Instagram, and he has come out and said that all credit to Twitter, because the idea behind Threads app has come from them.
Yeah.
So he's not even hiding the fact that it is very similar.
The only difference is that you can bring your followers from Instagram to Threads.
Which is honestly very smart.
Yeah.
Because there's no other social media platform where you can create a new account and sign up and automatically
bring your followers
transfer your followers over. So for creators like me and other, influencers, content creators, people that have established audiences on Instagram, that's a huge deal, because we've spent so many years building up that community that when a new platform is launched and you have to kind of jump on the bandwagon, it's so frustrating having to start fresh. So I think that is huge.
But anyway, let's get into what it actually is.
Yeah, what is it?
So Adam created Threads.
It was Zuckerberg and Adam.
Okay, sorry, apologies. Created Threads as a text community. They want to create more of a community.
Yeah, and they want to create conversation within the community.
Yeah.
So they're kind of banking on the fact that obviously you do have this established community from Instagram, that now you can have these really public, in-depth conversations with
personal conversations
through Threads.
Yeah.
And I think that's their I've watched Adam Mosseri has a reel on his Instagram page kind of addressing Threads and saying what it is, and that is what it's been designed for. So
it's real-time conversations basically.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, I guess stories are real-time conversations, but because of the Instagram algorithm, it's, I'd say, a lot different.
Scrolling through the stories feed, you don't see as much as you want instantly.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this Threads app allows you to see more real-time stuff from creators and from users more efficiently.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge difference. And it's because it's not video and visual, it's not as curated. Because I find even myself when I post stuff on stories, I make sure it's got the right angle.
Yeah.
Or there's still a lot of thought that goes in behind putting up a post or putting up a photo on stories.
Yeah.
Whereas with Threads, that's all taken away.
It's literally just a conversation.
Yeah. So it is quite different.
It's chaotic.
It is so chaotic. And we touched on what Threads has been designed for based on what Instagram themselves have said. I don't know if it's being used for that right now.
I said this to Erin the other day. I feel like Threads is a place for people to show off how funny they are, or like
it's literally like a big dick swinging contest right now.
It actually is.
And I like, it makes me feel so
it gives me
uncomfortable. Yeah. Because even though we know we're hilarious,
I had stage fright just going on goddamn platform. Like, what?
It's like this ego thing. Like people are really using Threads to fuel their egos right now and see who's funnier than the next person, or like
everyone's personalities are totally different on Threads than they are on Instagram.
Like people that have never shown a sense of humor on Instagram at all of a sudden they just have this new personality.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. I am struggling to like engage because of that reason. I think it just feels very like fabricated right now.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because that's really not what the app was intended for.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see kind of how it like evolves.
But at the moment, Threads doesn't actually have like that. You don't follow everyone that you follow on Instagram. Like it shows the people you follow, but also people you don't follow.
The feed is very different.
Yeah. Which is interesting because everyone's pushing for there to be a following feed.
Yes. So I've seen a lot of people kind of come out and say, because obviously this app has been launched by Instagram and it's very widely known. Instagram has its flaws. One of those flaws is when they took away the chronological feed and started showing you things from like all sorts of different timelines, but also posts from people you don't follow as well. And people hate that, and they've been very vocal about that, saying that like all we want back with Instagram is a chronological feed of only the people you choose to follow. So it's interesting that they've now launched Threads and are still ignoring what people want. But as a content creator, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's really handy as a content creator. And if you were smart, you would jump on board straight away because in a way, you're reaching a whole entire new audience.
Yeah. The algorithm on Threads right now is allowing you to have a reach to an entirely different audience than what you can get on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's a very beneficial thing to be a part of at the moment.
It just sucks because the following feed is apparently coming.
Yeah. So they have said that that's something that they are. I wonder if it'll be something that you can switch between though.
Yeah, like a For You page and like kind of like TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So can we talk about how it actually differentiates from Twitter at the moment? Because I feel like a lot of people are comparing the two and saying that it's basically Instagram's version of Twitter. But I do think they both still have quite a lot of differences.
I haven't ever really used Twitter, so...
I mean, neither. I've tried and I could never get into it ever. I've always found Twitter to be like quite a controversial platform, like really, what's the word? Like headline, like media headline, controversy, style posts. And it's just not really my vibe.
Yeah.
So I've never gotten into it. But I do know that Twitter is kind of like a great search engine in itself because it has the hashtags, I think, they're hashtags. But you have the ability to basically go and search a particular topic and see the conversations that people are having from around the world about this one topic.
Through a hashtag.
I think it's through a hashtag or just like a keyword. Honestly, this is how much I don't know about Twitter. But I do know that you can essentially do that. So it's like a trending topic, I think. And yeah, that's not available right now on Threads. So, which is interesting because they talk about how they want it to be all about like public conversation and like community. But if you want to see what people are talking about in regards to Taylor Swift, there's no way for you to, that's just what everyone's talking about right now. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
That is the last thing I'll be talking about.
We are not Swifties. But yeah, like if you wanted to go and see what everyone's saying about Taylor Swift, there's no way to search that on Threads. Whereas on Twitter you can. So I think that is probably the biggest difference at the moment. And then obviously the fact that you can transfer your following straight over from Instagram.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing on that is apparently you can't delete your Threads app without deleting Instagram now.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Like, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
When you think about it too much, it's probably a bad thing, but
it's a little bit creepy. I don't know if it gives me like a weird creepy feeling because I'm like, how can you?
I mean, they're working on it. I think that's what they said. They're working on.
Really?
Yeah, trying to figure out how to differentiate, I guess, the two.
Yeah, right.
But another thing you mentioned this morning is the number. The number.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen anyone really talking about this.
Yeah, neither, until you literally brought it up.
But like, it's the first thing I thought. It gave me Squid Games vibes. Why have we all been assigned a number?
I'm going to see what number I am, actually.
Like if you go onto the top of your Instagram profile now, you can see like what number you signed up as, I guess.
Yeah.
So like Zuckerberg is number 1, Adam Mosseri is number 2. And then from there, as people signed up, they got assigned a number.
Which is so creepy.
And it shows at the top of your profile. But like, why?
What's your number?
My number is 4584163.
Mine's 22883239. It's pretty clear I signed up well after you did.
But I just, like, I don't get
it. It's weird. It is really strange.
Why are we all being identified as, like, a number right now?
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to change that.
I feel like it's very straightforward, and the reason they did it is simply because they wanted, like, as many people to sign up as fast as possible, and having this, like, number associated with it, like, everyone wants to be one of the first people to sign up, and this number is, like, a public way to see how fast you were at getting onto Threads. But like,
I mean, if it wasn't for you saying that this morning, I probably would never have known.
Yeah, right. It just, I don't know, it feels so strange to have just been assigned this number, like for what purpose? So yeah, don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of strange. The other thing that I've seen people asking is why there's no web interface for Threads yet. So with like Instagram, obviously I feel like 99% of people would use Instagram as the app, but it does also have its own web interface. So if you're on your computer, you can jump on your desktop and still use Instagram on your desktop. You can't do that with Threads yet, which is interesting because it is primarily a text-based
giving
platform.
MySpace.
Yeah. So like it would be a very easy thing to just use on desktop.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that they are working on. I think they just wanted to prioritize the mobile app first.
I want to know what your thoughts are though on the app.
What my thoughts are.
Yeah, like what were your first thoughts when you first signed up to the app?
I mean, it's just frustrating, right? Having like yet another thing to stay up to date with and like stay consistent on. And I don't know if this is just in the space of like creators because this is our job, but when a new app launches, and this goes for, you know, social media managers, marketing teams, anyone in a line of work where social media is their job, Threads feels like your workload has just doubled.
Increased,
yeah. And it's a very, like, I don't know, it's just a lot. It's a lot to try and figure out. You also want to be using it to the best of its ability because obviously, you know, you don't want to be lagging, I guess. Like you never want to be behind on the current, like with TikTok. We spoke about this earlier. When TikTok launched, so many people were like, ugh, not using that.
Yeah.
And now I can guarantee you they're on the app and they're using it and they probably regret not getting on it sooner.
But this is what I think about Threads, right? Is like because that happened with TikTok and so many people didn't jump on that bandwagon, now everyone is jumping on this bandwagon and that's why it's so chaotic. And like there's so much big dick energy. Yeah. It's because everyone's just putting all of their energy into trying to be funny, like relatable, like it's just wild.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. And I
You
hate
just
it.
don't want to be the last one. You don't want to be like falling off the wagon.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, pressure for people that work in this industry around Threads launching.
But how are you using the app? Like what's your plan?
Do you know? I don't even know at the moment. I don't know.
You're just writing your thoughts.
In my head, I'm like, I want to post on Threads the stuff that I would usually think too hard about and not end up posting on my Instagram.
Yeah.
So
Like on your Instagram stories.
yeah. So just like the little, thoughts that cross your mind, or like daily updates where you're like, people wouldn't care about this. I'm not going to post it on my stories. And it's stuff like you will have these little thoughts, but then because stories is such a visual thing, it's like, what do I talk to the camera? Do I take a photo and then write a caption? Like there's just a lot of thought that still has to go into posting a story. Whereas on Threads, it's literally just text, type it out, and you're good to go.
I also think it's easier for the consumer to on Threads because they can just read it. Whereas like stories, it's like either you need sound and that's why they created the captions for the stories, right? Because
like when you're sitting in a public bathroom and you're like stuck on the toilet, and
maybe
you're scrolling
TMI,
through.
but whatever.
We all do it. Everyone does it. I mean, for me, it's a lot of the time when I'm putting my daughter to sleep and putting her to bed, and I'm like sitting there in the rocking chair for so long.
Yeah.
The only thing that keeps me sane is scrolling through social media on my phone, but I can't listen to anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Threads is good in that sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's just all text, you can just read it quickly.
Yeah,
Don't have to listen to anything.
And I think that's why it's reaching such a huge audience because
it's easy.
It's easy, yeah.
One thing I want to touch on is why they felt the need to create a whole new app when there are so many issues with Instagram already that they don't fix, that people complain about constantly. Like if you go onto Adam's Instagram profile,
the comments.
The comments are like, why would you not fix Instagram before you go and create a new app? Like, I totally agree with that.
But I think it all comes down to money. Like, if they change the algorithm on Instagram, they would stop making a lot of money. So they're never going to change it. Like, I really can't ever see them changing Instagram back to the way that it was.
No way. No way. But it's just frustrating.
It is. It is so frustrating. Yeah. And yeah, you can see just scrolling through the comments just how frustrated people are that they've come out with this brand new platform, but then aren't even addressing the majority of issues with Instagram. But I do think, like, I saw another thread, hate actually using that, but essentially that's what it is, on the Threads app where Adam Mosseri replied in regards to advertising on Threads. So obviously Instagram is known for being a huge platform for, sponsored posts, paid partnerships, ads popping up, and that is how they make a lot of their money. Threads doesn't have that function yet, and I think a lot of people are wondering if it's going to become that.
Do you reckon it's going to become that?
Well, he did respond, and he said, look, it's not our priority right now, because the main priority for them was just launching this app and getting people.
I think it was also like to be a safe space too, so that that was one big thing that I think I read, is like making sure that there was no like bullying. Not that you can stop that, but like they wanted it to be a safe space for
public conversation.
Yeah.
But he didn't shut the idea down. Right. And obviously, I mean, it's a business. They would have invested a lot of money into launching this app.
But wait, can you do sponsored stuff on Twitter? I don't think you can. So yeah, I feel,
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. It's just not in my realm of like, I've never used it, or like.
We should research that later.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is very interesting. Food for thought. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, he didn't shut down the idea, which makes me think that eventually there will be ads on Threads. And, I don't think it'll take long for brands and content creators to start utilizing Threads as well, because at the moment it's quite a highly engaged audience. So it'll be interesting to see how things like that start to roll out.
Yeah.
Like, as a content creator, am I supposed to come up with an entirely new rate for
Threads?
A thread? Like, this is all new territory.
Yeah.
And clearly we have no idea. right now, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
So far on Threads, you have the ability to write up to 500 characters long with the option to
That's
include...
a bloody novel. I can't even think of 500.
I mean, you can in
I was about to
person.
say 500 words. It's not 500 words. It's characters.
Characters, yeah. With the option to include links, photos, and videos up to 5 minutes in length.
See, that tells me that there's definitely going to be branded collabs happening. Links,
Do you know
visuals.
what the characters are on Twitter? It's not that long, hey?
I want to say it's 500 as well.
Oh, really?
The text content of a tweet can contain up to 280 characters.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought it
So
was a
it's
bit shorter.
less.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Obviously, they got a one-up Twitter.
Yeah. That is so interesting. Okay.
So yeah, you can have up to 500 characters. It's to create more of a community with your following. But what haven't they done yet? And like, what is to come?
Well, there's no way of directly messaging
Yeah.
people on
Which
Threads.
I don't really think is necessary.
Nah, I really don't want them to bring out that
It's
feature.
just another platform to use to message people on. Like, we have so
We
many
have so
already.
many. And especially like the Meta. How do you say that? Meta?
Yeah.
The Meta platforms, Instagram, Facebook, they both have their own messaging services. So like Threads just doesn't need it. And as a content creator and like someone with a larger following, it's so overwhelming
Yeah.
already. Like
Yeah.
we don't need another way for people to direct message.
Yeah. Another thing they don't have yet is the ability to switch accounts. So like say
Yeah.
for us, for example, we
Frustrating.
can't switch from our account to the podcast account. Like you got to log out to log back in.
Which on Instagram you can, so I wouldn't be surprised if they bring that out soon because
Instagram
it's such
and
a
TikTok you can. Yeah.
it's such a good function just to like stay logged in and be able to switch between. Surely they're going to do that soon.
And you also can't edit your posts. So whatever you
Nah.
post,
It's
better
there
be
to
correct.
stay.
Wait, can you delete it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can delete it.
It's there to stay. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, somewhere in the database it's going to be there to stay. I'm sure it's the internet. As soon as something's on the internet, it's there forever. But
So true.
yeah, no typos. The typo police will be after you and you can't edit them. So
Yeah.
spell check, people.
But it's all very interesting.
I'm so intrigued to see how it evolves.
Yeah, same.
Because right now I just have no idea. I literally have no idea. And as a content creator, I feel like I just have to stay involved and stay posting and try and figure it out for the sake of my job.
Yeah. And while there's no following feed, probably best to like keep it.
Yeah,
Like,
reach that
pumping it
audience.
out. Yeah.
And because there is that direct link to Instagram,
Yeah.
you're not just building an audience on Threads, you're building an audience on Instagram as well. Like they still have to go and follow individually, but it's just such a quick and easy way to drive traffic from one platform to the other.
Yeah.
Brands and content creators right now, like,
They'd be
should
busy.
be getting on it. They'd be very busy. And overwhelmed.
Yeah, legit.
Stressed but blessed.
But that's our thoughts on Threads.
Yeah.
Fun. We might do a part 2 when we know more.
In like 6 months' time, was it a flop or is it still up and
Yeah.
running?
Yeah.
Like, because there's so many platforms that try to launch and that come about, but I don't think any of them have quite taken off the same way that Threads has, other than TikTok. But there's
What's that
still a lot
one-
of people that didn't.
I mentioned this in one of our last episodes. There was a spin-off TikTok and I can never remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either.
Like Lemon?
Oh,
Something-
yeah.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Lemon.
But like, what's happened to that? Is that irrelevant now? Like, no, that
I
didn't
just-
even hit the ground running.
TikTok is TikTok. You're never going to beat
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, very, very interesting. We'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any like particular thoughts,
Insights.
yeah.
Let us know.
Also,
Let's start a thread.
stop.
Ew, I hate myself. Sorry.
That's
Ew.
an ick.
Ew.
That's such an ick. New ick unlocked. Anyways, before I forget, we never mention this in our episodes, but we would really appreciate if you guys could jump onto whatever platform it is that you listen to our podcast on, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and review our show, because reviews make a huge difference for us. And not only is it nice to just like read what you guys think, like we spend so much time filming, recording, editing and uploading these episodes. It's so nice to have feedback on what we can improve on and what you would, like us to change. But yeah, it's really great. It helps us out a lot with the algorithm and getting our podcast out there to new listeners as well. So if you have the time, we would really like some reviews, and also come and join us on our Facebook page as well, because we post some like more exclusive stuff on there. So we've given a little sneak peek to our Facebook friends about our next 2 guests. And you guys can like submit some questions for those guest interviews and stuff, so you can have a bit more of a say in what you want to hear in those episodes. But things like we spoke about in Jess's episode, a lot of the platforms for influencers to use to sign up to, we've linked and provided you with a bit of a directory on there of those platforms. So if you're someone that's wanting to get into the industry, I feel like you would really enjoy being a part of this Facebook group. There's a lot of little tips and tricks and like handy information in there as well.
Anyways, we're going to wrap that one up. We're going to stop Erin from talking so much. You are cut. But thanks for listening, and we will see you in our next ep.
Bye guys.
Bye.